What are we making a video of? Oh, somebody else's misery. The guy next door had frozen pipes. Didn't let the water trickle after the city defrosted it twice with the electric welder and the ground cable trick. Anyways, they got the... I'm gonna take out this screen. Give me a second. There we go. Take down the screen, and they dug a hole between the street and the sidewalk, the so-called tree line, and ran this little machine. I'll attach a picture of it. This little machine, it's like my sewer jetter, and they ran hot water into the water line from the curb stop into the street, and that didn't work. So this morning they dug up the water main right there. They don't want me too close because it's kind of dangerous, so I'm keeping my distance. So they dug up the entire water main that's 4 feet below the grade, just over a meter and a half below the grade. And it's a 3-inch, was that 10 centimeter cast iron pipe with a little 3/4 inch water line, which is what, a couple, 5 centimeters, 3 centimeter copper line that big, taps into the cast iron. Anyways, the cast iron is frozen, but it feeds from 2 different directions. Comes from over there, feeds this building, and it comes from down the hill on the former Air Force base and feeds the houses over there. So this guy's right in the middle, and he hasn't got any water. He can get fed from both directions, and they can't get continuity on this side because they got a couple of couplers that have got rubber gaskets. So they try to ground it over here and heat it up. Didn't work. So they ran their cable all the way across that street where the traffic's going by now. These huge welding cables that are bigger than my thumb. And they just turned down the welder, which is sitting on this 85 Chevy C30 with 28,000 miles, a 30-year-old truck, and all it does is carry around an electric welder to defrost frozen water lines in the winter. So it's 30 years old with 28,000 miles, and I put some tape around the door striker, but it needs some fluid film on the hinge and on the latch. So they've had these guys in the hole shoveling the water out of the around the pipe, and the mud, and the water falls in, and the mud falls in, and it's quite the mess and quite the PIA. They've been working on it for quite a while, trying to get this guy over here some water back in his house, and it ain't easy. Because he should have let the water trickle, because traffic going along the road compresses the road base, tightens everything up, and makes it more susceptible to freezing, which is what has happened. And this guy's had no water now for a couple, 3 weeks. The city has given it a lot of effort, digging and digging and digging. I'll go up there and I'll see if I can sneak in a photograph of the water main with the 3/4 inch copper line that taps off of it. Because we live in a frosty, cold climate, the water meter is inside the building. If you live in Florida, Louisiana, or southern Texas, the meter might be right in your sidewalk, just below the grade. You can see it when you walk on the sidewalks. Here, the water meter is always inside the building because it's got to be 4 feet down at minimum. And that's the scooping out the mud, trying to get this guy's water back on. They just turned down that welder. Just sitting on the back of that pickup T-Ruck, my C30 pickup, right there. 1-ton truck, 2-wheel drive, 28,000 miles. They got a clamp on the water main, big old C-clamp, and cables clamped onto that. And they're heating the water line from where that guy's in the hole, right there, going right across the street, right there, where the next water line is. The water line curb stop. They've got them in the road, and then they branch off into all the houses. So as I mentioned, they're feeding from 2 directions. This one comes around the block, so water can come from 2 different directions. And he's right in the no water service area. You don't realize how important water is until you turn on your faucet in the morning and there's nothing. Oh well, I gotta go paint an apartment. That's what I'm doing. Boring. Just sold some kitchen cabinets this morning, some old cabinets for 75 bucks. Glad to see them go. Sierra 3500 standard. Oh well. Welding. Hey guys. I just heard them hollering over there. I wonder if they got the main defrosted. I don't know if we got a view from the roof. Let's take a little mosey on over. Oh, I got water up here if anybody needs some water. How's my roof patch doing? Pretty good, I guess. Didn't have any welder going, so that might mean that they're still heating up the pipe. I think they'd turn it off if the water came gushing out of the 3/4 inch line sticking up out of the ground. Nope. Oh, good place to park. Right in my perfect view. Oh well, they got nothing yet. You guys are working hard in and out of that hole, fighting with different tools. Hard working guys.